Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to my channel, Jersey Shore Pondscapes videos. My name is Chris. Today we're doing another video in my whole series of pond plants. We're going to be talking about two plants that are quite different, but yet they're in the same family. So we're going to be talking about Marsh Mallow and hardy hibiscus, okay? So first off, let me just tell you what these plants are real quickly, and then I want to get into two other very popular plants that could get confused with this, okay? So first off, we have the Marsh Mallow, okay, which is a native plant that grows around the edges of ponds and wetlands and marshes. It can grow quite tall. They get 4 to 6 feet tall, and they have really nice flowers on them in midsummer. They are usually in the white to light pink to pink family of colors, and they are quite popular for ponds as well, okay? The next plant we're going to be looking at is the hardy hibiscus. Now, the hardy hibiscus is a perennial. It will survive in colder climates, okay? And they do get quite large in the pond as well. Some of these plants can grow easily 3-4 foot tall, and they have very large, flowers on them, okay? It could be white to white and pink to deep ruby reds, nice large flowers. Okay, now that's what this video is going to be about, these two plants. But I also want to briefly tell you about two other plants in the same family that are very common that I don't want you to confuse with these two, okay? So the first one is just the hibiscus, the tropical hibiscus, okay? It's a very popular plant in warm tropical climates. It's used for hedges, for landscaping. It's an ornamental, right? Very showy, bright, vibrant colored flowers, oranges, yellows, pinks, reds, really beautiful flowers. So most often when we say hibiscus, this is the plant that we think about first and foremost, okay? But this, however, is not the plant that we want to put into our ponds, okay? We don't want to do the tropical hibiscus, okay? We're going to be talking about what's called the hardy hibiscus, all right? The perennial one. I have never ever seen these tropical hibiscus put in a pond, so I can't tell you whether or not they would actually survive. My guess is probably not, because they're always used for landscaping, okay, in warm southern tropical climates. Now, the other plant that I want to talk to you about just briefly is called Althea, or common name too is Rose of Sharon, okay? Now, this is a woody shrub, all right? A small tree, if you will. These things can grow easily 10 to 14, 15 feet high, all right? A very common landscape plant. Again, it's the same midsummer flowering. They go from white to pink to blue to purple flowers, and they're very common in the landscape. They too, however, will not grow in your pond, but they are all in the same hibiscus family, okay? These four plants, the Marsh Mallow, the hardy hibiscus, the tropical hibiscus, and the Althea, or Rose of Sharon, are all in the hibiscus family. So their flowers look very similar, okay? So I just wanted to make this distinction for you, so that when you if you go to like a garden center or something that sells pond plants, and you pick up a small hibiscus for your pond, and you're not walking out looking at a Rose of Sharon in a beautiful plant that's this big, and you're saying, oh, that's the same hibiscus, I'll put that in my pond. No, right? Completely different plant. All right, so I just wanted to point those two out for you that are not pond plants, but they look very similar to, they're in the same family of the Marsh Mallow and the hardy hibiscus, okay? Okay, so let's get on with it. So let's start with the Marsh Mallow, okay? So it is a wild plant, basically, that grows naturally around wetlands, around the borders of ponds, you know, a marginal plant around the edges of lakes and ponds. They do get quite large, you know, 4 to 6 feet tall. And basically what we have is a tall stem that comes up with multiple flowers down on that stem, okay? Most often white, pale pink, or, you know, a darker pink. But a really showy plant. So again, this is commonly sold for the pond, okay? But they are, you know, usually sold in small little pots again, and we need to repot them, right? Put them in a nice big container, or if you're going to plant them directly into your pond, if you have, you know, a bog area or, you know, gravel area that you can plant these into, they will do just fine. It's a nice plant to have in the pond, both this and the hardy hibiscus, because they are not really spreading, okay? They're not going to like send roots and runners out and start growing everywhere. They grow in basically like a clump, okay? And that clump just gets bigger and bigger. Both the Marsh Mallow and the hardy hibiscus grow the same way. They do get quite tall and nice and big and full, all right? And at the end of the season, you know, once the frost hits in colder climates and these plants start dying back, we can cut them right down to the base, right down to the you know, bottom, and next spring they will come back again. Now they do love the warm weather, right, and the warmer water. So they are both a plant that in early spring does not come back as soon as early as a lot of other plants do. So, you know, come early spring, you might have some other plants like irises or cattails or whatever starting to grow again. And then you look at the pot of the Marsh Mallow or the hardy hibiscus, and there's nothing going on. You're going to think it's dead. But just give it time, okay? It needs a little more water, warmer water, a little more sun, and it will start taking off and growing again. Now, the hardy hibiscus is a really beautiful plant. The thing is with the hardy hibiscus is that there are a million different varieties things, and they're mostly sold for landscaping and, you know, perennial beds, okay? Now, I will not tell you that all of the different varieties will grow in the pond. However, I will say that I've tried a bunch of different ones, and they've all done great in the pond, all right? So one particular variety that I really do like and grows huge and grows great in the pond is called Lord Baltimore. It's a really neat, it's a big red flower, and it has a very thin, kind of long, elongated, thin leaf. It's a really pretty plant. It's a really showy plant. I have, you know, pictures up here of it. But that one particular variety I do know grows very well. Now, I have bought a lot of these hardy hibiscus from a perennial farm. And put them into the pond. Now, the reason why I've done that basically is because at my local pond supply store where sells aquatic plants, usually if you buy in a hibiscus plant there, it's either the Marsh Mallow or it's just a really small hardy hibiscus. You know, like a Lord Baltimore, but a really small one. And, you know, they come in like 1 gallon containers, like little 1 gallon pots, and they're small plants. Whereas if you go into a garden center in the perennial section, you can find a nice big 2 or 3 gallon plant that instead of being, you know, 2 little sticks up this high, it's a big full bushy plant, right? So it's a little more bang for your buck. All right. The thing is, if you're buying the plant as a perennial from like a nursery or garden center or something like this, keep in mind that the potting soil that's used in these pots is very light. Okay, it has things in it called perlite, vermiculite, peat moss. Okay, and all this stuff, if you put this in a pond, it's all going to float. All right. The other consideration that we need to think about is that they also have fertilizers in these pots. All right, we don't want to put all this into our pond. So if you're buying a plant that's, you know, potted like for as a perennial, we need to get that plant home, take it out of the pot. I bare root it. I wash it all down with the hose. I wash all that light potting soil off of it, get the fertilizer off of it, out of it, right? Clean it all up, and then repot it. Then it can go into your pond. If you're repotting it, I would suggest a nice big pot, okay, because it's a big plant. It's going to need some stability and, you know, room for those roots to grow. A nice big container, put some gravel on the bottom. If there's holes in the bottom of the container, put some gravel on the bottom, fill it with dirt, put your plant in it, pack it in nice and tight, and put some large gravel on top, okay, on top of the dirt. Now, I've also planted many plants, you know, in containers with just gravel and no dirt, and they do fine. They root right into gravel, okay? So either way, but I mean, if you can put the dirt in there, great. Just make sure you have enough nice gravel on top to hold that dirt in the pot. Okay, so we've seen both of these. Let me give you another interesting fact here about the marsh mallow. So the marsh mallow may sound like a sugary sweet treat called the marshmallow, right? And that's exactly where it came from. So the marsh mallow is actually a plant that was used years ago medicinally, like as an herb. It was used for many different ailments. And the roots were used to make a confection that is similar to today's sugary treat, the marshmallow, right? To make your s'mores, right? Rice Krispie treats, right? Lots of goodies. But you know, nowadays, the same confection of a marshmallow is not does not contain the roots of the marsh mallow plant anymore. It's mostly sugar, right? It's a confection with sugar. But that's where it came from, okay? Because originally marshmallow root was used to make this confection to treat ailments. So yeah, interesting little fact, right? Okay, so that kind of gives you a little idea on the hardy hibiscus and the marshmallow, okay, two popular plants, beautiful plants for the summer. Both of these plants are really nice, especially the hardy hibiscus for giving your pond like a real tropical look, right? These big, large flowers. The flowers don't last very long, however, okay? Really, each flower lasts a few days. However, the plant itself can produce a whole mess of flowers. So you'll get several weeks out of a nice, you know, bloom, you know, continuous bloom of a few weeks with these large, you know, really pretty, you know, like Lord Baltimore's big red flower. You know, but pinks and whites and really, really pretty. Okay, so that's it. I hope you got a little bit out of this video. Thank you for watching. Please hit the like button. Subscribe to my channel if you're interested in ponds and water gardens and koi ponds and all this stuff. I have a whole series of plants, videos on plants, water plants, and you know, check them out. And thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll see you back soon. Take care. Thank you. Bye.